All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the seventh episode of the Heart to Heart podcast. My name is Hafiz, and today we got a special guest from the Schizophrenia Society at York. Would you like to introduce yourself, and would you like to tell us a bit about yourself and the club?
For sure. So my name's Laiba. I'm the founder and president of the Schizophrenia Society of York, and what basically SSY is for short is a student-based organization at York University, which humanizes individuals diagnosed with schizophrenia, and we aim to provide a platform of awareness and education on schizophrenia, as well as a support system for anyone who has loved ones affected by it. A little bit about me: I'm just a student, a third year student studying psychology um, at York, but that's basically it.
All right, awesome.
Hey yo, you ready?
Please don't make this complicated. What about the time we wasted on our love? And I can't keep the things we traded.
All right, so ready to jump into the game?
Yes, let's do
All right,
this.
let's do it. So for those of you guys who don't know, how this game works is we've prepared 5 questions for each other, and we have a document where we are given random words. We need to include 3 random words into each of our answers, and yeah, we're gonna jump right in. Are you? So just to give you an idea of how it's gonna work real quick. So when I'm asking you the question, I'm gonna be reading out the words as well. And when you ask the question, I'd ask that you read out the words
Okay.
as well. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go. So my question for you
Mm-hmm.
is, what would the first thing? Okay, so assuming we're in a situation where you are not able to be physically harmed, right? So it's impossible to be physically harmed.
Okay.
What would be the first thing that you do? And your words are pick, outer, and general.
Wait, I can't be physically harmed.
Yeah. So like you jump off a building, you're still
Okay.
not gonna be physically harmed.
Okay. So in general, I kind of gotta pick what I have to do. I really like outer space, so I'm kind of thinking about that. I'm like, can I get there? But I really can't. So I probably will just like fall down, and maybe I can jump my way into it. But
Okay. All right. That was really good. I like that. All
okay,
right. Awesome.
okay. So my question is, so what is your most prized possession and why? And your words are demonstrate, goal, and patch.
Okay. My most prized possession. Um, um, family and close friends aside, my most prized possession would be probably the brand that I created so far, just because um, there is like I have a big goal with it, right? In terms of how far I want it to go, and along the way of achieving that goal, like I do want to demonstrate to people that despite certain situations where you might head into a small patch, you still could come out on top if you keep trying and keep pushing, and I hope for it to really show who I am. That's a goal for it.
Good. It's really good.
Thank you. All right. Cool. The second question: what is one thing you would do if you knew that the world was a simulation?
Okay. Um,
And hold on, your words are justice, nail, and venture.
okay. Um, so, if the world was like a simulation, that's kind of like a venture, you know? And
Okay.
okay, we'll give that's fine.
Yeah.
We can go.
That's good. No, don't
Okay.
worry. That's good.
Um, I don't really get my nails done, but now it's a simulation, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll go get my nails done. And I just think that's kind of not just. Like, I don't think that I'm giving justice. Like, whoever created this simulation is kind of rude because I've been thinking this in my life, but
Damn.
fine.
All right, that's cool. That's really good. That's really good. I like that. I like that answer.
Um, so if your 10-year-old self saw you now, how would they react? And your words are display, policy, and recommend.
All right. So if my 10-year-old self saw me, first thing he'd do is, or first thing he'd say or do?
He'd yeah, what would, like, how would they react? Whether
React. Okay, okay. So
yeah.
how would he react? Firstly, he definitely see great progress and great growth, right? That's clearly displayed in like the time back then, and a lot of things, to be honest, in terms of like the policies that are adopted, in terms of like the maturity, the understanding, and he knows that the me right now would give him recommendations on how to take a better approach to life, for instance, maybe some shortcuts that I ended up learning that I didn't need to fully learn if I knew better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess that'll be my answer. I got all 3 words, right?
I think so. I hope so. Policy.
Policy, display. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did.
I'm
All right.
gonna like keep track now because now I don't know if you're cheating. So like
That
I'm
some
definitely.
accusations. Okay. It's chill. All right, cool. Yeah, no, definitely keep track. All right. So my next question for you is, if you were given one luxury item, but you couldn't sell it, what item would you want? And your words are debate, despair, and month.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to debate this with myself because like there's a lot of things, but like there's just like this one thing, like this gold rose thing that I saw. Like it's a rose made out of gold. So you know, I get that, but like if it's a real rose, like would it last more than a month? Is what I have to think about. But um, I feel like I might go into despair if I don't get it. So I think that's what I'll choose.
All right, you killed that, yo. You killed that. That was amazing. That was really well done. I like that. I like that.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on iced coffee? And do you think iced coffee should only be consumed in the summer or all year round? And your words are continuation, wood, and bend.
See.
It's-
All right. Picture this. All right. We're out in the woods. All right. Um, we're sitting on a log. All right. Like my knees are bent. They're like bent. So like my legs are touching the floor. And I'm telling a story that's a continuation from a previous depressing nightmare that occurred. That's how I feel about iced coffee. I really don't like it. I hate it.
Come on, man. I thought we were like, getting friendly, and then you gotta pull this.
Not with iced coffee. No. We like other thing, like water, like yeah, like I'm all for it. Coffee, I'm trying not to get into it.
No
Not quite.
coffee at all. You don't.
No, I don't drink coffee. Have you considered something called sleep? Apparently, it works for
No,
me.
I don't know what
Oh,
that is. I don't know where to get it.
yo, you should try it. I heard it's pretty cool. It really helps me.
For sure. I'll see. I don't know if it's in stock, but I'll definitely check it out.
Oh, I heard. Never mind. Never mind. All right, cool. So your next question is, if you could body swap with any person for 24 hours, who would you choose and why? Your words are productive, surface, and tragedy.
Okay, bodies. Okay. So honestly, it's gonna be kind of like a tragedy if like I have to like leave my body, but it's okay. I can work with that. I want to like choose somebody who's going to be doing something productive, something, so I kind of want to see what the queen's up to, see like what her vibe is over there, what's going on. So because on the surface, like it seems like she's like all that, but like I love the queen, but I just want to see what's going on.
That's the best one yet. That was amazing. I like that. I like that a lot. That was really good.
Thank you. Okay, so what is one thing you wish would come back into fashion? And your words are skeleton, dragon, and display.
Oh God.
I really
So
want to see this.
one thing that would come back to fashion.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I am a very, very minimalistic type of guy. So in terms of something that would come back to fashion, nothing really. I think the minimalism that we have today is as far as I would like it to go. Right. Enjoy a I'm very much a keep it as simple as possible type of person, right? Because there's a couple of reasons. First of all, um, when you look like, okay, have you ever walked into a store, right? And you look at some of the items on display, right? And you find a shirt with like a weird skeleton on it, and then right next to it is another shirt with a weird dragon on it, and you're like, come on, come on, like just keep it plain, keep it simple. It looks the best. That's
That
my
was
manifest.
so smooth. Like, I was half,
Thank
but that's good.
thank you. Appreciate that. All right. So your last question is, if you were chosen to be the first human to make contact with aliens, what would you say to them? And your
What would I
words
say?
are to
Okay.
them. Yeah, what would you say to them? Yeah. And your words are estimate, will, and ear.
Okay. First, I'm gonna have to like estimate my chances of like actually surviving because like I don't know what they're about. Or trying to kill me. Um, I'll tell them that I'm here by my own will. Nobody forced me. Like I'm actually into this. And one thing I really always wanted to know is like, do they have ears? Because like most of the aliens I see, like they don't have ears. I mean, not that I see, but like,
Yeah,
that I see in movies. So that's
that there you go. That's the answer. Really well done. Really well done. I like that.
okay.
I like that.
So if you could make your own ice cream flavor, what would it be and why? And your words are quote, exposure, and discriminate.
Okay. Okay. This one gonna be good. Make my own flavor. All right, listen. Chocolate chips, amazing. Oreo, amazing. Imagine you combine them together. Hear me out. Okay. First thing is I do not discriminate between brands, okay? Like sure some of them are better than the other, but like ice cream is ice cream. But like when I'm making this new brand, all right, when it goes into production, there's one important thing. You need to figure out how many people are going to buy it. So you got to submit a quote for that, right? And you also, but while you're in the process of making it, you also got to advertise it. And when you advertise it, you got to figure out how much exposure it's going to get. Once you figure that out, then you're ready to figure out how many you want to produce and sell and enjoy the shit out of, because obviously it's going to taste good.
I'm sure you can pitch that to a company and they'd go for it if you literally use that,
That,
right?
thank you. Thank you. All right, cool. So all right, so that's gonna be it for this segment of it. Now we're gonna jump to a bit of getting to know you and the club a bit better, getting to know a bit about what schizophrenia is, and so on and so forth. So I got a couple questions for you, okay? And actually, I just want to start off real quickly by asking you to introduce what schizophrenia is and what the club aims to do, either what or actually what the club aims to do and how it's been, like what steps it's been taking to achieve that, basically.
Okay. So, as I briefly mentioned in the beginning, so the Schizophrenia Society of York, short for SSY. So we're a student-based organization at York University, and the reason that it's important to have such an organization is that like students are the future, we're the future, and there's not much awareness about schizophrenia. So if we don't start raising awareness right now here on campus, it's never gonna start, right? Like this is like the main like time to be doing it like age wise. And what we do is we humanize individuals diagnosed with schizophrenia and provide a platform for those who are diagnosed and then like their loved ones as well. So what schizophrenia exactly is it's a form of psychosis. So it's a mental disorder which involves hallucinations, delusions, um, and a loss of touch with reality, basically. And many times it's confused with multiple personality disorder, which is something completely different. So it's not like you have a split personality, but it's actually like your world that you see around you. It's not what it actually is. You know, there's paranoia involved. And this, as you can imagine, if, you know, I'm talking to you right now, right? And if I think we're on a podcast, we're talking right now, but I suddenly see you and I'm like, why is this guy talking to me? Like, is he gonna like come to my house? What information does he want? You know, I start thinking about these things. It can have a big effect on, you know, your cognition, your behavior, your emotions, right? So it's there's just so many aspects to schizophrenia. And again, I'm not a professional, but you know, I do have some knowledge and in this field. So I just want to put that out there. And also, we don't know what causes schizophrenia. Like scientifically, we don't know the cause, you know. We have like hypothesis and this and that, but we don't know. And it's like once you have it, there's no cure. Of course, recovery is possible, and that is essential to note. But you know, like I said, there's no cure. And what us at SSY, what we've done so far, like we were established literally a year ago, like last January. We started as a club, and we've done a lot of seminars. And you know, it's really hard with COVID and everything, having to like do it and being a new club as well, but we were able to pull a few seminars where we've had um, some guest speakers who have had like relating to social justice issues of schizophrenia. Then we've had some professors come in and kind of speak about the scientific aspects of schizophrenia to help, you know, the students understand, you know, how does it work, how does it affect you, what goes on in the brain. And then we've also had one of our recent events, which was really big, was we actually had individuals who were diagnosed with schizophrenia to come and speak to people and share their story so that people realize that, you know, schizophrenia shows us something really important about being human. You know, like these people are as human as me and you. So that's all I have to say.
That's a really good point. I'm glad that organization is established. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't heard about it before I heard about the club, which uh which is why I'm glad that it has been established. And I feel like now that I think about it, I feel like I do know some people who I'm not diagnosing anyone, but like some people who have seen some, you know, signs that could relate to that per se. Um, so it's good. I feel like it is important to, you know, spread awareness about issues like this, because most people, if they see someone, not most people, but a good amount of people, if they see someone acting weird or in a certain way, they might dismiss them, or they might be like, what's wrong with you, and not understand that
For sure.
it's not fully in their control. You know, it's not like it's
And
not
it's like even like when, you know, many people who have schizophrenia, they talk to themselves. You know, sometimes you see someone talking to themselves and they're like, oh, they're so and so is crazy, they're that, right? So these are all things that, you know, that's attached to the stigma that comes with it.
definitely. No, I totally understand that. All right. What is a common misunderstanding or a common misconception about schizophrenia?
Okay, one of the biggest ones I feel is that if you have schizophrenia, your life's over. You can't do anything. That this is a misconception that you're just this lunatic, and I don't use this word myself. I'm just saying like how people say it. Like you're just this lunatic living in your room somewhere, and you know you just can't function, and you know your life's over. But you know, in reality, it's not like that. There's so many people who have schizophrenia, and they're living well with schizophrenia. You know, it's like any other disorder that, you know, that definitely does to a certain extent disable an individual, but it doesn't ever stop them from achieving what they want. And I think that's something that's very important to notice.
Definitely. And a lot of times when we see here's what kind of bugs me, because like
Mhm.
whether you like it or not, every single person, well, no one's perfect, right? So every single person has some sort of
For sure.
something that they have to cope with. Let me call it that. They have something that they have to cope with, right? And when people fail to understand that someone else, or when people tend to put down other people who have to cope with something that either is different from them or might be a bit more serious than them, or that they have less knowledge about, or that they can't control as much as what that person is dealing with, it kind of bugs me. It's like, why? Like, no, like just yo, everyone's dealing with their own issues. Like if you don't want to understand what they're dealing with, you're not obligated to, right? There's no obligation, but like at the very least, like have some respect for them and whatnot, you
For
know.
sure.
Um, is there another common misconception that might be present?
Like I said, there's this kind of like big misconception about multiple personality disorder, which is now named major dissociative disorder. So with that disorder, it's basically how you have, like as the title says, it's you have multiple personalities, right? So sometimes you're this, sometimes you're that, and with people with schizophrenia, because the word itself, schizo means split, and phrenia means mind in Greek. So because of that, I think that's where it developed from, where people think that, those are two same disorders. Or even in general, I feel like it's very easy, whether it's schizophrenia or any other mental disorder, people combine the symptoms and make it into another disorder and make it into two disorders. But the symptoms are very very from that, and it's not a personality problem. That is, there's nothing wrong with the person's personality. It's genuinely something in the brain that is causing someone to feel this way and see these things.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so if you could, okay, let's assume all barriers are removed. Okay, there's no barriers in the way. Um, what project would you work on, and why would you work on that specific project?
So what do you mean by barriers? Or like,
So, like, let's say you want to, let's say you want to find a cure for schizophrenia, right? Okay, let's say you want to find a cure for schizophrenia, right?
mm,
Um, and that's the project you want to achieve, and you could do it. No, no, no. Hold on, hold on. Let me ask that question again. Hold on.
no
No,
worries.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Let me ask that again. Okay, okay. So, okay, so what? So, considering the current situation, right
Mhm.
now, what project would you embark on if there is let's assume there's no monetary restrictions, okay, and some other um inconveniences that would, for instance, stop. So like you have unlimited resources, like in terms of like humans around you, in terms of money, in terms of resources and whatnot. So you have unlimited of those. What project would you want to embark on?
Okay, sorry for like confusing myself and you, but
No, it's not that.
I think there's not, unfortunately, like there's not enough awareness for schizophrenia. There's not enough research for it either. And like you said, like monetary, like money is a big role, plays a big role in that, right? Because no one's funding any research for schizophrenia. There's no awareness. Nobody really cares about it that much. So I think if I could, I would definitely take on a project that can help understand the development and cause of schizophrenia, right? Because, we know that genetics can play a role in it. If you have family members, you're more likely to get it. We know it has something to do with gray matter and frontal lobes in the brain, but to actually like have the resources to actually understand what caused get like a and then another problem is that in order to do research we need to do research on individuals who have schizophrenia, and it's not easy to get in contact with them or get them to be comfortable enough to partake in the research. So I think that would be my main thing, because once I feel like we understand, and then this is before anything, if you understand the source, if you kind of get to find out what's causing so and so, I feel like a cure becomes so much more easier. You can't find the cure before you find out the cause. So I think I would start with the cause.
Definitely, definitely. No, that's a very, very good point there. Because like you have to figure out what's causing it, and then based off of that, you could either try to avoid it or figure out similar, solutions around it and whatnot. All right. What advice would you give to someone who has schizophrenia? So let's say, let's for this question's purposes, let's say they're a York student and they have schizophrenia, and yeah, like what advice would you give to them?
Okay. There's so much I want to say. I'm gonna have to like collect my thoughts for a second.
No worries, all right, take your time.
I don't know. I feel like if someone has schizophrenia, like they should know that that doesn't make them any less. And society, unfortunately, the way it is, it will treat you differently. It won't treat you justly. But you shouldn't ever let that stop you. You shouldn't ever let schizophrenia stop you. And one thing I would advise is that you get in contact if you are having these hallucinations, if you're if you feel like there's something like that, get in contact with mental health professionals, because like I said, like, don't be discouraged if there's no cure. That doesn't mean recovery is impossible. You know, people, there's so many different things in the world, whether it's cancer or even like, you know, if you break your arm or like, you know, not necessarily it won't come back. There's not going to be a cure, but recovery is always possible. And you know, the best thing that you can do for yourself is, you know, be happy and be able to live a good life. So don't ever like give up on yourself, I guess.
That's good.
There's so
That's
many
good.
things involved in that, but it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that I feel like that's one of the most important things, especially people who are suffering silently, right? That's I feel like that's one of the most important things that they need to hear, that they are like you're still a human being, you're still valued, you're still appreciated, you're still loved. It's honestly, we as a society don't hear that enough. In fact, we hear the opposite a lot more, unfortunately.
for
Um,
sure.
so yeah, that's rather unfortunate. All right. Okay, so what should I ask either you so you about okay, so what should I ask that I don't know enough to ask either about you, the club, or schizophrenia itself, or all three? That's fine.
Um, I think you should ask how can you help, right? How can you get involved and how can you be, you know, an ally for individuals with schizophrenia?
Okay, and would you like to answer that?
Okay, yeah, for sure. I think, you know, when it comes with for like schizophrenia and like raising awareness for mental disorders, it's like you think someone else is doing it or someone else is gonna do it, right? Like it might seem like, okay, SSY is here, they're raising awareness, it's fine, let them do their thing. It's never enough. There's never enough, you know, awareness being raised. There's never enough, you know, initiatives being taken place. So if you want to, like, you know, you could always like get in contact with SSY, and we always have, you know, things going on that you could be a part of. And you know, change firstly starts at home. And I think having conversations with your family and having conversations with your friends about, well, actually, change starts with yourself. So first, educating yourself, learning about it. There's so many amazing videos on YouTube and so many other places where about schizophrenia, right? Where there's actual individuals who have it speaking about it. It doesn't have to. You don't have to go do your PhD in schizophrenia, right? You don't have to go learn how the brain works, how the neurons work. You can just listening to someone's lived experiences. I think that's where it starts, and that's I think more than enough in some cases. So educating yourselves and then educating those around you, and you know, realizing that these are just human beings. Like it's schizophrenia doesn't is it, it's a disorder, it's not a person, and it shouldn't be a label. You know, this is just, it could happen to me or you know, like we got to realize that could be me, that could be you, right? So what makes us any different from them? And when you look at it like that, then why wouldn't you be raising awareness?
Yeah, I think that's a really really good point. At the end, it's like we always I forgot. There's actually a concept, a term for this, where I think it's called the third party effect or something like that, where we assume we see things, bad things happening to other people, and we're like, that's not gonna happen to us, and so we don't really worry about it. When in reality, it's gonna come. I'm not gonna say it's going to, but like it at any point could come full circle back at you, and then you start regretting, and et cetera. It goes on
That's
from
called
there.
the bystander effect. It's like where you see someone, you think someone else is going to do it, right? Like you're
That's
just a
the
bystander.
that's the bystander effect. Yeah, yeah, that is the bystander effect. Um, York has quite a few trainings in that, thankfully, which is great and stuff. Yeah, okay. Did you have any last words, any suggestions, anything at all that you'd like to end
Um,
off with?
not really. I just wanted to thank you for, you know, being a voice for those with schizophrenia for SSY. And just thank you for all the amazing work that you're doing and putting out there. It's really great. We're really impressed with you at SSY. And that's basically it. That's all I had to
Thank you.
say.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And yeah, I've seen some of the work. I was supposed to come to the conference, but like I kind of slept in, so I apologize. Um, but
Great.
I did talk to a friend who went there, and he said it was a really really great event. So I'm glad to hear that. Definitely I'm coming to future events, and I do want to learn more about schizophrenia as a whole now. So that's amazing. Thank you all for listening or watching the podcast wherever you're hearing this from. Their contact information will be up IG, and do you have other social media platforms, or is it just IG?
Facebook. We got Facebook.
Facebook. So Facebook. Who uses Facebook?
I
Never
don't
mind.
know. gotta do it for the old people. No?
You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. We can't not include them. All right. So their Facebook and Instagram will be up here, and make sure to give them a follow. Make sure to check them out and whatnot. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.